Stampers, welcome to my YouTube Live. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. I think you're going to really like tonight's projects. I'm using Stampin' Up's color and contour stamps and the coordinating Scallop die set, which I'm telling you, these two things are so popular, especially the dies, because you can use them with everything. So I'm not going to talk right away a lot. I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to get started right away because I have a lot of stuff to show you. So, color and contour stamp set. There you go. It's really a cool stamp set because it has this open line outline, open line florals, like all these things like that, and then it has the abstract stamp that can color it in. So you just pick your color and that's it, you just go to town on it. Plus you can do more with it. You can actually stamp this and then color it in. You could emboss this and color it in. So there's, use your sponge daubers. There's a lot you can do with this stamp set. And the font, I mean, Stampin' Up is really well known for the fancy fonts that they do, but oh my gosh, you guys, it's really pretty. So we're gonna make a couple of cards with that. And here are the Scallop Dies. So very versatile, these are like awesome. You can use this with every single stamp set, every sentiment. Let me see, what did I write down here? They cut out the floral shapes and then they have these scallops, and then they have all these other things that you can use to decorate your card or to use for sentiments. So it's really a cool stamp set. Cool die set. And let me tell you where you can find it. Let's see, it's in the annual catalog. Right here on page 98, right here. Okay, so if you're interested in making that purchase or if you have questions, make sure you let me know and shop with me. Speaking of catalogs, I do want to mention that there is a new catalog coming out. They call it the mini catalog, and I still call it the holiday catalog because it has Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Halloween, has all that fun stuff in there plus more. But they call it the mini catalog now. So that's coming out along with Celebration, and I'm calling it Round 2. So that's coming out too. So if you're interested in that catalog, I am shipping one out to every one of my customers who make a purchase with me. So shop with me and I will definitely send you those two catalogs. I have to have my information in by, I think, the end of June, so shop with me by June 29th and you will definitely get those two catalogs. And I already know that people have seen the catalogs and they're excited about it, but who wouldn't be, right? Stampin' Up. So here are the two cards we're going to make. I thought these are very pretty. Thought this would be pretty for a bridal card or for an anniversary card. And it says, "So very happy for you." Look at the font, isn't that pretty? It's very cool. And then we're going to make this one. This is so popular. This is probably my most popular card on Pinterest. Not this card, but this layout. And it's that fan fold. So we're going to make that card. And I left this one blank because it's a thank you card. We'll stamp the one we do tonight, but I always like to write inside my thank you card, so I left that one blank. And then we're going to make this cute little holiday or candy holder, and it looks like a little rosebud. So I'm all into the polished pink. I really love that color. That's one of the new in colors. So that's what I'm using tonight. So let's start off with this one. I gotta put all my stuff back so I don't lose track of where I'm at, because you know how easily I do that. So if you're here live, go ahead and say hi. And oh, I love this. This software is so much better than my Facebook because I can see everyone's names. All I need are my glasses. So hi everyone, welcome. Glad you're here with me. I'm gonna move fast. I'm not gonna do a lot of yakking. But anyway, we are gonna start with this card. And what I like about the cards that I'm making tonight and about this stamp set and this die set is because it's so fancy, all these things, you don't need a lot of DSP, you don't need ribbon, you just need a couple colors of cardstock or ink and you just start stamping. So I'm using basic black for my card base, and it's 8.5 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 Geez, oh man, I can't even think. It scored at 4 1/4. So 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. Kind of lost my thinking there. Inside and outside, I'm using a white mat. It's 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm using a white stamping piece that's 3 3/4 by 5. Now you don't need that matte piece, that's extra, but I think it makes your card more elegant, and since this one here is gonna be a wedding card, I thought it'd be really nice to make it elegant. So again, on the front, I have the matte piece in white, that's 5 1/4 by 4, and my stamping piece is 5 by 3 3/4, and then I embossed the front with that painted textures embossing folder. I just love this. It's just pretty. Just pretty. So I already did some of my cutting, so I didn't have to do that with you, but of course I should have knocked out all these little dots. So let me show you what I have. I have 2 in basic black, 2 in polished pink, and 2 in basic white. Okay, so I cut those out ahead of time, and again, that is with the Scalloped Dies, which I already lost, but you saw them in the beginning. So it's the smallest one of the Scallop Dies. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, so it's that one right there, that little small one. And it's cool because it has the little tiny holes that punch out. So it's really kind of lacy looking, and it shows through underneath. And I do apologize for not having these little dots punched out, but you definitely want to punch those little, you don't have to punch them out, you just kind of move them around and they fall out, because then the paper shows underneath and it's kind of pretty. So I thought about doing this, but that thought just went out of my mind earlier. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of knock these out really quick. I'm going to get all these all over my desk. Okay, pretty good. I can finish doing that as we're talking. So I'm going to take the white ones and I'm going to stamp on them. So I'm going to bring in my little rosebud stamp and the filler. And I actually did the rosebud in Evening Evergreen. It might look black, but I did it in Evening Evergreen, and it's a real subtle difference, but I like it. It really looks kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this outline right in the middle of this piece. And since I have this ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp Congratulations. And the Congratulations is from I have that here somewhere. Well, I'll find that too. Anyway, let me stamp this while I'm in the mood to stamp. Okay, so Congratulations, and I'm going to stamp that right there. And then I'm going to bring in my chamois and clean these off. One of my favorite accessories is this chamois. And then let me close this up. I'm going to bring in my polished pink, pretty new in color, and I'm going to stamp right in the middle of that little rosebud there, or flower bud. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp right over the top. So see, we have the outline stamp, and then you have the little abstract filler stamp. And again, you just choose whatever colors you want to do it in, and it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So then what I did was, and I have a new glue bottle here, so let's see how that works out for me. I'm going to kind of layer these, but again, I want to knock these little dots out so they really look pretty on your card. Okay, and then this one, just make sure they're all knocked out. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay glue on this one. And I'm going to take that white piece that we stamped, I'm just going to overlap it like that. And then I'm going to take the black piece, put some glue on there, and overlap it. I'm just continually knocking these little dots out. I could kick myself for not doing that sooner. I like to have as much done for you guys as possible so you don't have to watch that extra stuff. Okay, so that's one that I put together. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just got to make sure all my little dots are out. So again, so happy you guys have found me on my YouTube Live, and go ahead and share it with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and then you click that little bell, and then anytime I'm going to do a video, or a notice will pop up to let you know that I am doing a video. So again, same thing, just gonna put a little bit of glue on that one, and then we're gonna overlap it like that, and we'll put some glue on the black. And we'll overlap it again. Like that. So now we're going to come in and put these pieces together real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and put my matte piece on. And people ask why I want to put a layer of white on white, and it really, like I said, for a wedding card, it just really adds that little bit of elegance to it. Kind of makes your card nice and heavy when they open it, and you know, they're going to feel so special to get a handmade card, but they're going to know that you really put a lot into it. So it's called fussing. I like to fuss. Okay, I think I'm going to put my glasses on here and make sure I'm lining this up nicely. Oh, that painted texture folder is gorgeous, you guys. So I'm going to have all the supplies that I used listed below in this video. So when I get done, I will put all that information down there. Just getting rid of one of these dots. So there'll be clickable links there, so you can shop very easily and safely with those clickable links. So let's see, what did I do inside? So very happy for you. Let me bring in that stamp. And again, I'm going to bring in Evening Evergreen. I'm going to clean this stamp off again with my little chamois because I know I'm going to use this later with the polished pink, and I don't want to put my Evening Evergreen in my polished pink. So go ahead and put the matte piece down for this. Make sure I did that right. So if I don't get to your comments tonight live, I will go back and read them all and answer any questions you may have. I'm here by myself, so it's kind of hard to see all the comments and keep the video going. But like I said, I'm so happy you found me. I love these two colors together, the black with the polished pink. Very elegant. Okay, so for the front, gotta find my dimensionals. And we're gonna pop these two babies up. So I kind of look at where I want them to be. And then we're going to put some dimensionals right on the back. That's a fake dimensional, it's a piece of paper. And we are almost done with our first card. I really, really love these scalloped dies. I'm just kind of looking where I want this to go. Okay, so I'm going to put this right in the center there. And we're going to put that right there. So there you go. Pretty, huh? It's so funny how just that little bit of embossing makes such a big difference. It's just enough to add, and then all these little scalloped edges. It's just really elegant. I love it. So I hope you like it too. Next, oh my gosh, this one. Cross my fingers that I get this correct. This is a card that I make every so often, and I always have to look back at my notes, but it's really easy. So we'll see how we do. First I want to talk about stamping these flowers. So I'm going to bring in the outline stamp, and then there's a, it's sticking, a filler stamp. So these do match up in a certain way, and it's really hard when you're stamping. It's kind of not hard, it's just kind of frustrating to sit there and try to think about which way they line up. So I went ahead and found what piece of this flower stands out to me, and to me it's this little square type petal, and I marked it with my marking with a pen, so it won't go, you know, it'll stay there, permanent pen. And then I did the same thing on the filler part that's going to fill it in. So I know that those two are going to go together, and I also did it on my framelit. The framelit was a little bit harder to mark. I kind of used it quickly, but yeah, I have it right there as a little mark. I got to mark that again. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to bring in Memento for this. I'm trying to find the, oh, here's the card. Here's the card we're making, everyone. So I'm making these flowers right now. So go ahead and stamp it up in the Memento black ink. And I've got my little arrow up there. And then, I already have these done, I just want to show you how I did it. Then I brought in the polished pink. And again, I'm going to ink that up. And I've got my little arrow there. So I know that goes right at the top. You kind of angle it just slightly however it fits. And it's an abstract filler, so it's not going to be perfect anyway, but it's kind of like the best fit for that stamp. Okay? So then when I run this through my cutting machine, I do the same thing. I line that little dot, and then I run it through, and it cuts it out perfectly. So I have that done, but I just wanted to show that to you in case, hopefully save you from getting aggravated or annoyed. Because that's not fun when you're stamping, right? You just want to get to town and stamp, right? I'm cleaning my stamps again. Usually I do that after, but I've been getting in the habit of doing that now. Doing it now. All right, so somewhere on my desk, I have 3 flowers that are done. So there's my 3 flowers all cut out. So for the other pieces, we have your card base, and I'm using Whisper White, or Basic White. That is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of Designer Series paper, and that is 11.5 by 4. And then for the inside, I have a matte piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 in polished pink, and my stamping piece, which is 5 inches by 3 3/4 in white. So this piece here, I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. Absolutely love this scoring tool because it's nice and big. I was at a friend's house the other day, and hers was smaller, so if you have something big, you kind of go off the edge or you have to turn it around. But this Stampin' Up! One is great. So just a little note, if you're using a piece of Designer Series paper that has a pattern, I put everything to the left or to the top going the direction. This one doesn't have any pattern, so I don't have to worry about it. But let me bring in my notes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it the long way. And again, this is 11.5 by 4. Wait a second. Yep, 4. Just want to make sure. And then we're going to score it at 3 inches. Now this is Designer Series paper, so I'm using the larger end, and I'm not pushing really, really hard. So we scored at 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Then I'm going to turn it, and again, if this was a design or a pattern paper, you'd have everything up at the top, to the left or to the top if it has a design. So up at the top, all I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a little notch at the 1 inch point, and then I'm going to bring in a little ruler here. So now this is scored right here. That's that 3 inch mark right there, and then there's that little 1 inch little tick mark that I made. I'm going to go ahead and line this ruler up right there and up at the top, and I'm not even worried about being exact, just being kind of close. I'm going to kind of give it a little crease. The other thing I wanted to mention when you're doing this is whatever you want to show the most, whatever side of that Designer Series paper, have that facing up the whole time you're doing this. So when you're scoring it and you're cutting it, have the prominent color facing up. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off right where I scored it. Like that. And I wasn't too worried about being exact. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and fold on all these score lines. Did I do this wrong? No, I didn't. There we go. Fold in all the score lines, back and forth, like a fan. There you go. I missed the first score line, that's why it looked wrong to me. So I'm just going to give these a good little score, good little crease. And then we are going to glue these down. So just going to kind of put some glue here. Like that. You could use snail for this too. You just want to give it, I actually would use glue. I've done some in snail, and they kind of, after a while, they've popped back up on me. So it's kind of a thick fold, so glue works well. Okay. Okay, I'm going to also glue this little area here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there, glue that down. anything that's going to pop up, I'm going to glue down, but let's wait before we go any further. So there's my card base. This is going to go right there, and it's going to be centered. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the back of this. And you can see anything that's opening up here, you can add a little bit of glue to help it stay closed, but once you get it all glued down to your card, it's going to be fine. But definitely the other side, like I just showed you, you definitely want to close those flaps with some glue. Okay, we're just going to put this right on the front of our card. Center it. And then I'm going to put my flowers on here, but I'm also going to stamp my little thank you. I just have to find my stamp. I'm going to stamp thank you for everything. And I'm going to do that in polished pink. Polished pink. Now you could stamp this in the bottom before you attach this, just in case you make a boo-boo in stamping that, you know. You would hate to have all this put together and stamp and make a boo-boo and mess it up. That's probably the smart thing to do, but I was brave and I didn't do that. Brave or not so smart. Okay, so now just kind of put your flowers wherever you think they're going to look cool and pretty. And this is a very pretty card. So this designer series paper is the Pattern Party paper, and that's the paper that you get. It's a hostess gift, which means if you're shopping with me, haha, and you spend $150, Stampin' Up! Has host gifts, and there's several you can choose from, and one of them is a stack of paper that is just gorgeous. It's got the pretty designs on one side and black and white on the other. It's so versatile. It's like amazing. So that's my thing that I tell everyone. That's my suggestion that I tell everyone to buy if they're going to get a host gift. So now, what am I going to do? I'm going to stamp on the inside in polished pink. You're absolutely amazing. And I just thought of this. I didn't do this on my original card, but I'm going to do it on this one because I think it'll look cool. In this stamp set is this little dotted stamp. And I'm going to stamp it. I hope I like this. Oh, I just put my hand in my ink. I'm going to stamp some dots in black on the inside here, and maybe it'll kind of tie the front of it together. I think that'll look cool. We'll see how it is. I like it. That one I would have done a little bit off, but I still like it. It looks really cool. And I'm not going to do too much because it's going to mess it up if I do it a lot, but just a little bit. Kind of ties the inside to that little dot on that designer series paper. I just thought of that. So let's see, what else? I think I told you everything about the catalogs. That's one thing I wanted to mention. Oh, that's so pretty. I like that. That is very cool. Very modern. Okay, card 2 almost done. There you go. So do you like that layout and that fun? I love it. I tell you, that is my most, everyone loves that. They pin it, they want to watch it on YouTube, so I thought, well, maybe I'll give you a little refresher there. It is fun to make. It is very pretty. The hard thing, I mean, not the hard thing, but the tricky thing is finding the paper that pops just enough. I've done several of them that I'm like, this doesn't work, but it's fun to figure that out too. That's half the fun of stamping, is all that creativity that goes on. All right, let's make this one here. So I have somewhere, oh, I already cut out my little base, but I forgot to poke out the little holes again. So in my mind, these are like the little leaves that go on the bottom of this rosebud. I thought these would be cute little favors for, well, if you had a wedding shower or even a graduation coming up, graduation party, little favor to put down, or coworkers, you know. When I was working, that was one of my favorite things to do, was to make all these little gifts for my coworkers. But not working anymore, they kind of closed the business after I worked there 29 years. So now I'm doing Stampin' Up. So it's my hobby, but it's a good way to bring in a little bit of extra money, hopefully. So I don't, you know, I really love the stamping part of it, but I love teaching it. I love showing you guys, and I'm always there to answer your questions. And so if you shop with me, if you have questions about stamps or my cards, just email me. It's stampandshout@gmail.com. That's my email. This is my blog, and you can go there to shop. And let's continue. Hang on a second. I had a piece. Here it is. So again, not a lot of supplies for this, but oh so cute. 3.5 by 3.5 inch square, and the little green pieces, you saw me cut those out earlier, or with those Scallop Dies. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in, my trusty scoreboard. Watch how easy this is. You guys are going to love it. So I'm going to score at 7/8 on all 4 sides. So this is 3.5 inch square cardstock. So 7/8, 7/8, 7/8, and 7/8. Then on all 4 sides, you're going to do 1 3/4, but only up to the score line. So 1 3/4 up to the score line. Okay. Then we're going to cut out each corner. And then we're going to cut up on that score line, only up to the score line. So we're going to make these flaps on all 4 sides. Okay. So then I'm going to kind of fold up on these score lines. And then I'm going to bring in the trio punch, and I'm going to round these corners. So I'm going to round each square's corner. So to do that, you just kind of fold up on the other side. I'm going to do this one right here. So you just kind of fit it all the way in this little punch. Just make sure it's all the way in and give it a punch. And when you use this punch, you punch right in the center. You don't push on the edges. It just won't work that way. Just push down. So that one's curved. So now again, you just kind of fold in whatever you need to make it fit, and you have to push it all the way in. And there's little guides. And once you get it all the way in, you give it a punch. And if for some reason you miss, you don't do it right, just do it again. It'll work. So sometimes you don't get it all the way in there and it just comes out kind of crooked. Just do it again and it will round it. It's like a redo. Okay. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm just getting it all the way in. You definitely want to use cardstock because you're kind of being rough with it. So you don't want it tearing on you. But Stampin' Up! Cardstock can handle it. It's really good cardstock. Okay, so then I brought in my bone folder, and everywhere there's a curl, well, I want to come back to that because I want to say something. We're going to put on some tear and tape. You can use glue, which is perfectly fine, but I am going to use the tear and tape because I don't like to use glue, too much glue on camera when I'm doing this because then my hands get really sticky. But I'm going to do a couple of these, and like I have one already finished, so I just want to show you how to do it. So you're going to take one piece of tear and tape, and right by the fold, right by that cut in the middle, you're going to put a piece of tear and tape. And then on the bottom little edge right down there, I'm going to put another piece of tear and tape. Like that. So again, if you're going to do glue, just just draw a little line so it's like on the inside. And you're going to do every other one like that. Okay? So then, once that's done, like this one, you're going to kind of fold up these edges and curl them and work at them. And I did it both ways, meaning I did it this way, and I went and I took every curved corner and I just kind of played with it like this. And you have to be gentle enough that you don't tear the paper, but you also want to curl it enough to make a difference. And I kind of did it both ways, and you'll see why when I'm done, because when you get it done, you kind of want the petals to go this way and that way. It's just a mishmash, it's no big deal, but I'm kind of just working every corner like that. Then I flipped it and I kind of did the same thing the other way. So it kind of it's loosening up the fibers of this. And again, just want to be gentle enough that you don't tear the paper, but you definitely want to get that movement. You want to get those fibers kind of softened up. Okay. And also on this one, I made a little boo-boo. I said you should do it on every other one, and then I did this one incorrectly. It's not going to matter. We just have to fold it. This one that has the tape on it is going to go behind, so it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of just the way I made the original one. Every other one seemed to make sense when I was giving the directions. So now I'm going to take the tear and tape off. And I'm going to take that tapey part and I'm going to go behind, kind of fold it up, and I'm going to match this to that bottom fold. So I'm just kind of pushing it together. So again, like I said, glue works fine, but so it's either I have sticky fingers or it takes me time to get the tear and tape apart. So I'm not sure which is better for a video, but there's only 4, so we got 2 more to go. I think these are so cute. I thought this would be pretty in white. Make white roses for a wedding or something, a wedding shower. So I'm just folding it up. Okay, so there's our little rosebud, but now we need to kind of play with these things here. So I'm just flipping back that outer layer just to make it look more like a rose or a petal. Then again, bringing in my Ferrero Rocher. I'm going to take this little brown piece off. And it fits really snug in here, so you don't really have to do any taping or gluing unless you want to, but it's kind of tight in there. So then I took some glue, put it on the bottom. And again, when you're making these, you have time to let them set enough so they don't move. And there you go. Isn't that cool? Simple, huh? Pretty. So I'm going to let that set for a little bit so that glue sticks really well. And we're going to bring in all our fun projects that we made tonight. And let's see, what else did I want to say? I think I told you everything that I wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed tonight's projects, because I really enjoyed you being here with me and sharing with you like I always do. Be sure to subscribe and click that little notification bell so you'll know if I'm making a video. I'm going to list all the supplies that I use down below. So, and like I said, there's not a lot of supplies with this. It's basically that great stamp set and the die set, and then you use whatever colored cardstock and inks and paper that you have. So not a lot of supplies with this. But I do appreciate it if you would shop with me. And if you have any questions, I am always there to answer them. If you have questions about stamps, if you have questions about my cards, I am very, very quick about answering any comments, any questions that you may have. So again, I do hope that you shop with me. I'm going to have everything listed down below. I think that's it. So I will see you next week right here. Share my video with your friends if you know someone that would like to watch this. And don't be shy. Stamp and shout. I'm going to wait a few minutes. I did discover that if I cut this off too fast, then my whole video at the end, I think there's a time delay or something on here. So I'll just look at you for a second and smile. Thanks a lot.